10 teams and 50 cars are ready to battle it out in this dramatic competition. It's the Junkyard Joust. Hi everybody, I'm Aaron Yonda. We've got 10 really good teams and this is gonna be an amazing fight. Heat 2 is in effect. Here are your 10 teams. Let's take a look at our competitors. First up is this crafty and villainous team, Lokiverse, led by 2 versions of Loki. Dead and Gone's been looking pretty impressive this season, sponsored by Buldamoosh. The Magic Kingdom, featuring a very large bus and a host of Disney characters. The Combustion Kings features a bunch of fast-moving vintage vehicles. This is Mind Control's second time in the main event, and they are ready to go farther this time. The Crimson Crashers have been around in various forms since the beginning, and they are back with an impressive team this time. Sting Operation has some agile vehicles, and they are fronted by Evil Weevil's sister. The Bonsai Boys are here, and they're ready to ride a wave of carnage. The Wafflers are a team of cars actually made of waffles. If you want the full story, there's a link to the video in the description. And finally, it's Emerald Undercurrent, sponsored by Ranaman. It's our second place champs from last season, and they're back. They've got one new member of the team, the Gallant Eterna. The Undercurrent were so impressed with the Eterna's performance in Season 2, they decided to put this crazy wrecked car on the team. The rules are simple: survive. Every car has to drive down the track, smash into the rest of the cars, and if they end up upside down or sideways at the end of a round, they are eliminated. Any cars that are right side up at the end of the round move on to the next round. In the qualifier, the match ends when 2 teams have lost all their cars, and the remaining 3 teams move on. If you missed it last heat, Tim was in trouble. Zombies were surrounding his truck. Now he's moved, but he's still surrounded by zombies. He needs help, and I think I know just who can help him in this predicament. It's Winnebago to the rescue. Ooh, a massive explosion of zombies all over the field, and unfortunately, Tim and his truck go flying. Tim somehow manages to stay in that monster truck, and I think he's okay. I have no idea. Winnebago, decisive destruction right there. Zombies scattered all over the place. This will hopefully take care of the zombie problem, for the time being anyway. Should be safe now for Evil Weevil to take his place on the track. Evil Weevil provides a buffer between the first starting car and the end of the track. In this case, Ridiculous is going to be the first car, sponsored by Emo Dingo. Ridiculous slides into place. Being made of waffles makes it a little hard to get all the way down to the end of the track, so Ridiculous is just going to be kind of a buffer for the next car, which is the Elvira Macabre Mobile, sponsored by Sloth's Automotive Sachet and Buffet. Elvira pushes all the cars down to the end of the track, and now we've got this event going in full swing. One of the 2 red skulls for Lokiverse is up first for them. Red Skull smashes into the back of Elvira. I saw a chunk of something go flying. Could have been a waffle bit that was left on the track from when that waffle took a hit. Super Stinger's up first for the Sting Operation, sponsored by Sloth's Automotive Sachet and Buffet as well. Super Stinger takes out the first car of this match. Red Skull knocked on top of his skull, and Super Stinger is nicely locked in right there. And here comes Pongo the Dalmatian for Magic Kingdom, sponsored by Mr. Strathholm. Pongo slides underneath Super Stinger, but Super Stinger is too quick and gets right out of the way off the track into safety. The one and only Lamelt is up next for the Undercurrent. Lamelt takes out Ridiculous with a little slide and a knock, and Ridiculous goes upside down. Lamelt's got that low back end, but the Iron Golem is putting down the forks and going to give it a shot, try to loft him off the track. It does not work. Well, it did actually get Lamelt off the track, but the Iron Golem then flips over all over the place and goes sideways. And yeah, that didn't really help out Mind Control too much. Crimson Crashers with their all-new lineup, starting off the Porsche 930. The Porsche slides underneath Pongo, starts to lift, and will probably remove on the next hit. One of the better entries in the Bonsai Boys, it's Backdraft, sponsored by Regal Radio. Backdraft pops Pongo up to the front of the track by the crates. Pongo flips, looks like he's gonna be okay, and then he rolls over and plays dead. First up for the Combustion Kings, the Datsun 128X. The Datsun speeds into all the cars. The Elvira mobile gets knocked up in the air but makes a great landing. And the Porsche gets bounced around but manages to stay upright. People were skeptical that a team of waffle vehicles would make it into the main event, but they sure did. Here comes Flapjack, sponsored by Ellis Wurtenberger. And Flapjack just lands down right behind the Datsun and parks. Despite that light little tap, still lost a little chunk of waffle there. 55 Chevy Nomad's up for Dead and Gone, sponsored by Mr. Strathholm. The Nomad knocks a chunk out of Flapjack, goes flying up into the air, actually multiple chunks, and here's a slow motion look at the biggest chunk getting blown off right there. Nova took a little bite out of Flapjack, but Flapjack is still right side up, and that's all that matters. Here comes Loki for the Lokiverse, sponsored by Liz's Wizard Arts and Witchcrafts. Ooh, massive damage there from Loki. That is a fast-moving vehicle. The Nomad is tossed upside down. Flapjack's upside down. Only Backdraft managed to survive that hit. Here comes Scorpedo for Sting Operation, sponsored by Ellie's Hop Shop. Scorpedo plonks pretty harmlessly into the back of Loki, but I'm seeing a lot of chunks of waffle flying everywhere. Dory's up now for Magic Kingdom. Dory smacks into Scorpedo, tries to push Scorpedo up, but can't manage to do it. Salt Shaker's up now for Emerald Undercurrent. Salt Shaker hits Dory off the track. Dory sent sideways, and it's iffy. Dory might be in a position that would count as still in, but it's unlikely. Now it's time for the Spider for Mind Control, sponsored by Jedi. Spider smashes into Scorpedo and Salt Shaker. Scorpedo gets the worst of it, and Loki is pushed off to the side. Up for the Crashers, it's the 67 Ford GT40 Mark IV. The Mark IV can't get under the back of Spider and pops Salt Shaker up in the air. Salt Shaker makes a recovery. And now for the Bonsai Boys, it's Surfboarder, sponsored by Sid from Cybertron. Surfboarder pops the Ford up in the air. The Ford balances on the back of Spider like he's gonna stay there, but then falls over sideways. Sixy Beast up now for the Kings. Sixy Beast gets under Surfboarder, and Surfboarder's flipped upside down, thrown onto the back of Spider, and now Sixy Beast is curbside. And now here comes Hot Cake for the Wafflers, sponsored by Stump's Tree Farm. Hot Cake slides rather ineffectually into the back of Sixy Beast and then goes curbside itself. I don't think Hot Cake's going to be feeling good after this hit from the Hot Rod Hearse, sponsored by Regal Radio. And there's waffles everywhere from that massive hit from the hearse. Somehow Hot Cake survives after losing a lot of the vehicle itself. Sixy Beast spins around and makes a recovery. And now it's time for the Bully Goat Red Skull, sponsored by Wayland Enterprises International. Bully Goat smacks into the back of the hearse, and we got a little bit of action, but nothing major. It looks like the Ford is for sure upside down, and Bully Goat is curbside. Bee-Sting now for the operation, sponsored by Judy Collins. Bee-Sting gets right under Red Skull, and Red Skull goes lofting into the air and is upside down over on top of Hotcakes. A nice hit there from Bee-Sting. Next up, it's Mike Wazowski for Magic Kingdom, sponsored by Ellis Wurtenberger. Wazowski gets under Bee-Sting, and Bee-Sting goes flying, but makes an amazing recovery. Not too bad at all right there. And Wazowski is curbside now. When you hear the sound of the buzzsaw, you know it's Berserk for the undercurrent. Berserk slices into Mike Wazowski, and Wazowski makes a crazy recovery, and Berserk now is upside down. Maybe his blade got caught up in the back of Wazowski. I don't know what happened there, but that did not work out. And Baby Cookie is back in the minecart for Mind Control, sponsored by Wayland Enterprises International. I gotta go. Solid hit from the minecart, and Berserk is just whomped over to the side upside down.
Didn't no one hit him.
Crimson sending down the Praetorian Guard now.
Damn it!
The guard hits the back of the minecart, and it's just bounced back by it. Nothing going on right there. Bonsai Boys are sending down Bonsai Boys, appropriately enough, sponsored by Hendrico's Heavy Hauling. Bonsai Boys should have done a little work on this car. It doesn't really fit on the track. It's riding the rail, so it doesn't do a whole lot of damage right there. Here comes Tire Fryer with that big engine in back. Ooh, nice hit there from Tire Fryer. Fast-moving car, and Bonsai Boys skim over the top of Baby Cookie in that minecart and go upside down. Next up for the Wafflers, it's Craper, sponsored by Winnebago Trauma Clinic. Craper does nothing, just slides into place as most of these waffle cars do. They are not a very aggressive team. I think this car will probably make up for that with the undercutting ability. Jack Skellington, sponsored by Woeful Fiber Art. Jack smacks the tire fryer, and look at that. Tire fryer recovers and flips over. Waffle chunks flying everywhere. Not surprised about that. Oh, there are a lot of chunks coming off of that waffle car. Wow. Ultron's up now, sponsored by Mr. Strathel. Ultron slams Jack Skellington over the back of Craper and off the track. Jack Skellington's looking pretty safe right about now. Here comes Dragon Tail, sponsored by Wayland Enterprises International. And Ultron takes flight, is knocked skyward, and goes upside down. A nasty hit there from Dragon Tail also takes out Craper. That's 2 cars removed from this match by that one. Get ready for the big hit MCI bus, sponsored by Liz's Wizard Arts and Witchcrafts. Utter destruction from the MCI bus. 3 cars go flying all over the place. Somehow, Baby Cookie in the minecart makes a spinning and incredible recovery. Look at that thing go. And then it looks like the Praetorian may have survived, but Dragon Tail is out. Eye Candy's up now for the undercurrent. Ooh, Eye Candy bounces pretty harmlessly off the back of that bus and now is in a precarious position. Right for the pickin' for Ocelot from Mind Control, sponsored by Hey Hey's Hatchback Hanger. And that is exactly what happened. Ocelot picked Eye Candy up, threw him upside down, and now Ocelot is upside down on the track. As we've seen before, though, that's not always the end. Get ready for another big hit. The Fleet Flyer with the secret weapon Porsche in the back's coming down. Ocelot is tossed all over the place and somehow, after all that, makes a recovery. And now the Fleet Flyer is leaning to the left. That is not what they wanted with that vehicle. It's supposed to be stable. Secret weapon does not deploy. 64 Oldsmobile Vista Cruiser's up next. The Cruiser just bounces off the ramp on the Fleet Flyer and flips over, but does somehow manage to recover. Here comes Hellraiser now for the Combustion Kings. Hellraiser doesn't raise too much hell that time, just pushes the Oldsmobile on top of some zombies and starts to drive into the back of the Fleet Flyer. Here comes the big one, if you can call it that, for the Wafflers, Blintz, sponsored by Woeful Fiber Art. Blintz does nothing. Not a huge surprise, but it's about to get a huge surprise. Dead and Gone are sending down the 57 Bel Air, 111 grams, sponsored by Swedenborg Smorgasbord. Bam! Waffle massacre right there. Waffles are sprayed all over the track, and that vehicle does not survive. And somehow the Bel Air starts to go under the Fleet Flyer. Under the Fleet Flyer and under Hellraiser. Chance to do some damage here for the Scupa di Fuego Loki, sponsored by Ellis Werdenberger. And Loki can't do a whole lot there, just bounces off the back of that really heavy vehicle. Evil Weevil represent. It's Evil Weevil's sister, sponsored by TJG. Evil Weevil's sister pops Loki off the track. Loki makes a great recovery, and now Evil Weevil's in position. Next up for the Magic Kingdom, it's Stitch, sponsored by Stephen and Kath, who just got engaged, actually. Congrats to both of you. Stitch assassinates Evil Weevil's sister, just goes right underneath and bounces Evil Weevil off the track. I'm still seeing waffles going all over the place. I think that's what they are. Actually, taking a closer look, I think that might have been chunks of Stitch's car coming off on Evil Weevil. So some damage going right there. Speaking of damage, it's the Gallant Eterna. Look at this thing. Gallant Eterna takes Stitch right down. After all that damage, doesn't matter. Stitch is done, and the Gallant is poised on the back of the Bel Air. Here comes a big vehicle for Mind Control. It's the Redstone Monstrosity, sponsored by Sloth's Automotive Sachet and Buffet. The Redstone Monstrosity goes flying off the back of the Gallant. The Gallant taking him down just by being stuck there on the track like that. Not doing the damage that Mind Control hoped. Here comes a nice undercutter for the Crimson Crashers, Animal. Animal boots the Gallant to turn up and off Hellraiser, and the Gallant refuses to go over and perches there. This car is a veteran for a reason. It's been through this before and it knows how to handle itself. Surf's up now for the Bonsai Boys, sponsored by Wolf and Fiber Art. Ooh, nowhere to go on that hit, and Surf's up, trips and falls over. Animal, meanwhile, is knocked upside down. Both of these cars are in peril. And our final car of the round is about to come down for the Combustion Kings, Tanzara. Tanzara takes a massive jump off of Animal. I don't even know how that worked, but rights Surf up in the process and then lands with the back open, right side up. What a great way to end round one with that amazing hit. We've got a mess of zombies and vehicles all over the field right now. 24 eliminations in total. That does not include the zombies. It looks like no teams have been eliminated yet. Let's take a look at the aftermath. Every team on this page has lost 2 except for the Combustion Kings, who have lost no one. An amazing round for the Combustion Kings. They're going to go into round 2 feeling good. Over here, we've got some major eliminations. The Wafflers lost 4. Loki and Sting lost 3 apiece. Mind Control lost 2, and Magic Kingdom lost 3. Combustion Kings will start us off. Not a single loss in this round. Datsun is going to hit the road first. Running order is up, randomly determined, of course, as the Datsun slides into place. Dengon had a pretty good first round. They're sending down the Elvira Macabre-mobile. Elvira smashes into the back of the Datsun, knocks the trunk open, and almost manages to get that thing off the track. And Surf's up now for Bonsai Boys. Surf's up, knocks that Datsun off the track. The Datsun makes an impressive pivot and recovers. Good job there. Combustion Kings continue to impress. Spider now for the control. And we've got a wipeout. Surf's up is off and sideways off the field. Unfortunately, Spider balances on the edge of the track and can't quite make it. If he doesn't make a recovery, that's a big loss for Mind Control. That is the one returning vehicle from Season 2 on their team. Porsche 930 now for the Crashers. That car's front tires don't look like they work too good. Probably would be even a faster car if those front tires worked, and it looks like Spider is even more in trouble now. Completely upside down as Porsche takes its position. Salt Shaker gonna try to mix things up. Salt Shaker takes the Porsche out, upside down on the track. Still a chance of recovery there, and bad news for Mind Control. Spider is probably done. Here comes the quick-moving Loki for Lokiverse. Loki speeds into Salt Shaker. Look at this. The Porsche makes a recovery from that hit and perches somehow on top of Spider. Just lands right on top of him. It's not a great position to be in, but it's right side up. Salt Shaker also right side up. And now Bee Sting is going to cause some trouble. Bee Sting annihilates Loki. Loki goes flying over, hits the crates, and bonks in the front of his car into the crates and can't recover. Nasty hit there from Bee Sting. Looks like she actually knocked a chunk of Loki off. And here comes Mike Wazowski for the Magic Kingdom. Wazowski slams into Bee Sting and flips over, not off the track, so not all is lost. Bee Sting also knocked over and upside down over at the end of the track. The final remaining car for the Wafflers, Hot Cake. This car needs to stay alive to give this team a chance. And it slides into place. Nothing dangerous about that move. Just getting buttered up for the next hit. Hellraiser now for the Combustion Kings, gonna hit that waffle car. Hellraiser surprisingly doesn't raise that much hell, kind of slides into position, and Wazowski looks like he's in trouble. Looks like also there was a lot of waffle flying all over the field, not surprising. Slightly bigger hit coming down the track from the Hot Rod Hearse, 95 grams. Hot Rod Hearse, big hit, and oh no! Elvira Macabre-mobile gets flipped over. Hot Rod Hearse's own teammate, and look at the Porsche make that recovery from on top of Spider. That Porsche has had quite an adventure to get over to that side of the field. Here comes the Oldsmobile for Bonsai Boys. Oldsmobile smacks the hearse up, and it looks like the Hellraiser got flipped upside down. We might be seeing our first loss for Combustion Kings. Good hit by the Vista. Ocelot made an amazing recovery last round from Mind Control. Ocelot takes out the Oldsmobile, tosses it over the hearse upside down, and it is probably done right there, sideways with the surfboards on the ground. Praetorian Guard now for the Crashers. Praetorian Guard, a nice hit on the Ocelot, but that car refuses to get tossed upside down, and now Praetorian Guard's going underneath the Hot Rod Hearse. The Gallant Eterna made it out of round one with no problems. The Gallant pounds into the back of the Praetorian Guard and bounces a bunch on the back wheels, but doesn't manage to get any action. Here comes the second Loki for Lokiverse. Let's hope that this one has better luck. Pretty solid hit there from Loki, but it's still unable to get that Hot Rod Hearse up. And somehow Hotcakes is still hanging on up there. Next up, it's going to be the Super Stinger. Super Stinger gets a lot of action on the track, but can't get any eliminations. Loki manages to get out of the way, and the Gallant escapes. And boy, was it a good time to escape. Here comes the MCI bus. MCI bus sends a couple cars up into the air. Super Stinger, Hot Rod Hearse goes flying up in the air. I don't think I've ever seen that before, and that thing is sideways. Super Stinger is upside down, and the second Loki is also eliminated. And way up at the front there, Hotcakes is not in a good position. Next up, it's Tire Fryer. A massive amount of damage just happened down on the track. Tire Fryer also gets damaged by hitting the back of that bus and flipping upside down. Combustion Kings are seeing another potential elimination right here. This bus is really causing some trouble. Another big car coming down the track, 111 grams of Bel Air. The Bel Air slams into the back of the bus, and that looks like it might be it for the Praetorian Guard. And look at this, Bee Sting just recovered up at the front of the pack. Did you see that? Here comes Backdraft now for the boys. Backdraft bounces somewhat harmlessly off the back of the Bel Air. Not a whole lot of action on that one, but we've been seeing plenty of action so far. Here comes Minecart.
Cookie sent you.
Minecart with Cookie in it makes a nice hit on Backdraft. Backdraft is curbside. And now another big hit for the Crimson Crasher. It's Fleet Flyer with the Porsche. And Fleet Flyer, they have decided not to release that secret weapon. According to the rules established earlier this season, if that secret weapon is deployed and separates from the vehicle, it is out at the end of the round. And I think that's why they're maybe waiting for a smarter moment than when Lamelt's coming down the track to release that secret weapon. Lamelt probably would have went right under it. Instead, Lamelt goes and drives into the back of the Fleet Flyer. And I'm getting the feeling there's some strategy employed here by Crimson Crashers, because look at what they've created, a ramp off the back of Lamelt. Let's find out if it's gonna work. 60 Beast is up now for the Kings. 60 Beast goes off the back of Lamelt, and what a ramp and what a jump. Skids along the top of the bus, and I couldn't even see what happened, but it doesn't look good. I see a little bit. 60 Beast poking out there sideways. That is gonna be a casualty. This jump is bad, but only bad for the Combustion Kings because they had 2 cars left to go. Tanzara now. Tanzara launches off Lamelt, actually knocks Lamelt back. Tanzara flips and turns, and then right at the very end, can't quite make the recovery. Looked like he might have got a little hung up on the cab of Fleet Flyer, and Combustion Kings have been devastated in this round. We've been seeing a little bit of a curse this season with teams that do really well in the first round or two. They often end up in trouble later on in the match. Let's take a look at our aftermath. And yeah, Combustion Kings lost 4 cars in that round. Bonsai Boys are out. They lost everything. Crimson Dead and Gone lost 1 apiece, and Emerald lost none. And look at this. We are going to lose 3 teams in round 2. Loki and the Wafflers are done. Mind Control hangs on with 2. Sting Operation and Magic Kingdom down to 1 each. Just that bus for Magic Kingdom. That round was absolutely devastating. The 3 teams eliminated are gonna be Bonsai Boys, Lokiverse, and the Wafflers. Unfortunately, the Waffle team is done. Dead and Gone still looking pretty good with those big vehicles. Somehow the Hot Rod Hearse survived that round. Mind Control got the Wily Ocelot and the survivable Minecart. Emerald Undercurrent is looking pretty good right now with those 3 vehicles. No surprises there, I suppose. Magic Kingdom only got the bus. Combustion Kings, only the Datsun. And Sting Operation, just B-Sting, who made that awesome recovery. Crimson Crasher still got 2, and Fleet Flyer's a big truck. Gonna be hard to eliminate that thing. A lot of eliminations, but we have plenty more competition to come in this second heat. And then coming up soon after that, it's going to be Heat 3, Graveyard Smasher back in action. Thanks for watching, everybody. Hope you had a great holiday. Thank you so much to all my patrons who made this show possible all year long. I really appreciate that, and I love bringing it to you. Cheers, everybody, and see you in 2022.